Hey guys, Tyler here from Seller Accountant. I've gotten a lot of questions here recently about Amazon fees, how to understand the basics of Amazon fees. What are some things you can do about them if you're not happy with the Amazon fees? And so I just want to show you some data. Then I'm going to show you an easy kind of quick way that you can go check out what the actual fees are for each of your products. I'll try to make this video quick. So what you see on the screen here in green is the average results of a fairly large aggregate study. What that means is Seller Accountant went out and looked at the financial data for a pretty big pile of e-commerce sales, about $140 million of total sales. And we came up with these percentages. This was kind of the average across the board of that particular population that we looked at. And so I want to point your attention to a couple of the fees here that are important for Amazon sellers, especially if you're kind of new and you're trying to figure out how much of my money is going to Amazon. The answer is quite a bit, right? So you have to secure your product. But then look below here, these next two line items here, about 19% of the total sales budget, so kind of like 19% of your total P&L, on average, is going to go towards logistics related to Amazon. If you're an Amazon dominant performance seller, right? That's your core strategy for selling your product. Almost 20 points are going to just pick and pack and send the product out to the customers. That's still often more efficient than having to hire employees and get your own warehouse, but it's a lot of money and you got to make sure that you have enough margin in your products to afford to do that. The second one that we're a little bit more familiar with is the 15% commission. If you're in some categories, it might be 17, it might be 18, it might be 20, but for most product categories right now within Amazon, it's a 15% commission for this particular seller study. Since some of the sales were coming off Amazon, it pushes that percentage down a little bit below 15, but it's about 15 points going to kind of merchant fees related to just using the Amazon marketplace, about 20 points going towards the logistics of getting my product shipped to the customer. And then the one that we sometimes forget about is the one down here. About 7% is actually budgeted just to spend on Amazon advertising. This is not including any other advertising or marketing strategy we might need as a company, but another 7%. And so when you look at these, you get 20 points going to FBA, you got 15 points going to the commissions, that's 35%, and another 7% going to advertising. That's 42, sometimes as much as 45% of our total budget. Literally total P&L, 45% ends up going to Amazon. That's a really big number, and it makes it absolutely critical that we have enough margin in our product. Our product is differentiated enough that we solve enough of a problem for our customers that we can keep a fair margin after advertising, right? That's what this PAG number here is, post-advertising gross profit. My advice to my CFO clients is if I can't consistently generate a PAG of more than 20%, I'd rather it be 25%, but if I can't keep my product at least 20% PAG, I probably have an issue, and I may need to look to renegotiate my sourcing contracts with my supply chain. I may need to look at getting a new advertising partner where I can get more effective or more efficient, or I may have a bad product. I may have to look at investing my capital elsewhere. So that's my thoughts on kind of basic fees. And now let me show you where you can go within your Seller Central account and find a report to show you what those look like. Okay, so what I've done here is I've gone to reports, fulfillment reports, and I've clicked over here on this one called the fee preview report. Now there's a lot of pieces of software out there that can give you this analysis, but again, the kind of poor man's version of this, how do I get a first glimpse at what my products are actually going to take in terms of Amazon fees to get them to the customer? This is a great place to start because what it does is and I normally request the CSV download, but what it does is it gives me the ability to see each of my current active ASINs, the dimensions of the boxing, so if it's going to be oversized versus standard, what the estimated pick and pack fee is, what the estimated commission is, and those are the really kind of critical Amazon fees. Now you're going to have to go back and decide what your advertising budget is for that product, but this can be really helpful, right, in terms of understanding, okay, wait a minute, wow, I've got a product that has an unusually high commission. It means I might be in a category where it's less favorable. I need to make sure that I'm not spending as much or can raise my price on that product, or it's not going to be a winner. And that's the thing about Amazon is that some products just aren't winners unless you can source them really, really, really cheaply. And you got to make sure you're looking at the data. And so let me show you what an example of this fee preview report might look like. Okay, so here's an example of the fee preview report where I've kind of zipped up some of the columns to try to protect my client here. But basically, it's going to give you information, your SKU, their product name, what your price is, what the dimensions of the product are. This could help you kind of determine how close you might be to being able to rebox or repackage your product to get some relief on the FBA fee. But as you scroll over here to kind of the columns S, T, and then you've got a fulfillment fee here. You've got a referral fee, that's the 15%, and then they go ahead and sum this up for you to give you a total estimated fee per unit sold. And literally, you can just add some columns to the end of this spreadsheet to say, okay, wait a minute, what is my average cost of goods sold per unit? What would that leave me with in terms of a gross profit? What do I think my advertising budget per unit is going to be? And I can kind of do a quick and easy sideways viewed P&L for each individual product to say, what would I have to price this product at to get the kind of margin I want to get on it? And so this is just kind of a quick and easy way to do that if you don't understand what the actual underlying Amazon fees are. And I hope this helps. Take care.